Welcome to the Paranatural Cryptid Preservation Society presents Hobbitses! Those darn Hobbitses. The wee folk. The tiny people. The little people running around doing the mischievous things depending on the culture that you are from. That's who we are discussing tonight. We're discussing the big feet and the small stature. The lacking in the perpendicular. The Hobbitses. That's tonight. That's what we're doing. And some of them do have 11 Cs. And some of them do indeed do not have 11 Cs. So tonight we're going to be discussing Hobbitses and the little peoples across all different cultures. And we know the one that is the most famous, which comes from J.R.R. Tolkien and The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, which is my personal favorite because I am an ultra nerd. I love it so much that I actually have High Elvish tattooed on my arm.
As do I, on my wrist.
Same here. Don't judge me.
Yes.
Don't judge me.
Yeah, we both fall in the nerd category.
Yes, absolutely. I'm a dweeb. I love it. I embrace it. It's fabulous. But we're not going to just be talking about that particular group of wee folk. We're also going to be talking about how they are a part of the Fae and the good folk, and also the Polynesian culture and the Menehune, or the Menehune, depending on if you're talking about the Tahitian version, the Polynesian version, or the Hawaiian version. And then we also have... I've got a brain fart.
We've got the Trow.
Yes,
we've got the Skara Bray, which is basically the same thing as the Trow, little people of the Fae folk. And they are from the Orkney Islands, which we'll talk about later. But there's some really cool stuff that we've got planned for tonight. So, yeah.
Yeah, and they're all little, and they're all adorable, and we love all of them, except for, look, okay, so these the Hawaiian, the Menehune, okay, unless you're going to do the Tahitian pronunciation, which is the Menehune, doesn't refer to them being small in stature at all. It just means low people or low in society, like lowly people.
Interesting.
It was basically a dig. Like you're...
Or what if it's low people as in subterranean people?
Well, I mean, it could be. It could mean... Don't start that. Don't start the dick in my noodle already. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. We're not even 5 minutes in. We barely made it 3 minutes in, and you're already starting to bake the noodle today.
Oh, I've been on a roll on Discord, so yeah, I'm already prepared to bake the noodle.
You're already in it to win it today, and I'm not. I am already going to bed today. It's been a day. So, okay, so back to what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted. Okay. Rudely interrupted.
Continue. We got a question.
Already? I haven't even gotten that far. What do we got? Oh, hi.
Here she go. Here she go. Already trying to turn our heads into mashed potatoes. She's trying to turn our brains into mashed potatoes already. Here she go. Also, hi everyone.
See,
it's gonna happen.
At least Tina's on my side today. So I'm gonna take that to the win. She's on my side today for bacon noodles. So as I was saying, the Menehune they inhabited the Hawaiian Islands between 0 and 350 AD. And they were craftsmen. And the things that they built still stand today. And they were put into the Historical Society, and let's see, one of them was a dam that was put into the Historical Society in Historical Places in 1978, which was a fish pond which is referred to as the Menehune fish pond. And the second one was also sort of like a dam. It was a wall that was built, and that is also entered into the Historical Society and Historical Places. And I believe that one was in 1984, but you're going to have to correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm remembering that right. And it is believed that these...
November 16th.
Yes, I remembered it.
Confirmed.
Yeah. Go ADHD brain. That's a win. So these little people, these Menehune, were excellent craftsmen. And they built overnight. And if it could not be built within that one night, they abandoned it. If it wasn't done by the time the sun was rising, they were like, yeah, nah, screw this, I'm done. They didn't go back to the project. They didn't try to come back and finish it the next night. They just let it alone. Like, this was not meant to be, wasn't meant to happen. But the things that they did build and manage to finish in that one night are still standing to this day.
You can actually go online and see the dam and the wall that they created. It's available to see online. And we'll also post links in our Discord. As far as the Discord channel goes, we've got that linked at the top. So if anybody wants to join us, we link all of our information there after the podcast so that you all can check our stuff and kind of read it for yourself, grow, learn something new, the fun stuff. So, yeah.
Fill your head full of useless information that you can have and be fun at parties.
Exactly.
So, so the dam, I want to talk about the dam in this little fish pond. Okay, one, it's not little. It's not a little tiny fish pond.
It's not.
It's really big.
It's a full-size lake.
It is. It's a full-size lake. And it was believed that they made like a chain gang pretty much and gathered lava stones and passed it from one Menehune to the next to build this dam and create a channel pretty much into a village. And it supplied them water and food. What?
Can I stop you there? So as far as the importance of this goes, just to kind of put it in perspective, the stones, these lava rock stones that they brought to this to build, were from 25 miles away. So now think about that. These little folk that were anywhere from, I think, like 2.5 to 3.5 feet tall. There had to have been enough of them passing hand to hand these blocks that it spanned 25 miles. That's insane.
Yeah, and built it in one night.
Right? Okay, continue. Sorry. I just wanted to stress the importance of that. That's insane.
Yeah, it is insane. No, you're totally correct. It's completely insane. And they would start at dusk and end just before dawn. So it's just a bunch of wee folk just building a dam and a lake. Right. Here's some water, here's some fish. Enjoy. Do your thing. Enjoy our hard work. It's what they crafted. It's what they did. But they were also like fearsome people too. They just weren't, these wee people that just ran around and built stuff too. They fought too. Like there was a whole hostile takeover by the Tahitian people, and they were kind of run out and ended up at what they called it's Necker Island. and it's kind of considered to be one of the hiding places. The last little place where the Menehune are and stay is on Necker Island, and they have stones. I think it's 11 of 19 of them still stand. Hopefully, I'm on a roll and remembering correctly.
You sure are.
Yes. I did it after this. And it was considered to be a ritual place on Necker Island. Now, seeing as you decided to go ahead and jump the gun and talk about bacon noodles tonight, I believe they could have gone underground at some point. But I lived in Hawaii. So there were a lot there. It's alive and well. They still talk about the Menehune. They still talk about them coming down at night and building and constructing and running across the roads. Like, you have to be careful because there are really narrow, winding roads that go up the side of these mountains that are there, and you're gonna have to like slam on brakes because they give zero crap about running across the road in front of your car.
Now, I've got a question. So the Wee folk have always been known pretty much in many, many other cultures to be tricksters and to not so nice to people, and child stealers and stuff like that. Does that happen with the Menehune? Is that a shared commonality between them, or are the Menehune just like straight up cool people?
They're not. I didn't hear much about them stealing children. Honestly, in Hawaii, they were just revered as part of the island. They were their own people, and they were part of the Hawaiian culture and the Polynesian culture, and they respected them, much like the Irish respect the Fae, and their fearsomeness that they are all on their own, and they have their own traditions and practices to ward them off. They didn't so much ward off the Menehune.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I find interesting. Like, I don't, the Menehune aren't necessarily a strong point for me personally. I don't know a ton about them other than, what I researched. But as far as like with the Irish, like they had like wards and stuff to protect them because it was a respect, but it was also a healthy fear, like a let's keep our distance kind of thing. Like you would treat a tiger if you ever saw one, like out in the wild. You don't want to die, so you try to be the best you possibly could be, like to let that not happen, like let them not kill you or kidnap you or, that kind of thing. So I feel like that I would think there would be like a shared commonality there with like all the little people, but it doesn't sound like there is. It sounds like every culture's little people had different kind of characteristics.
They do. With the Hawaiians and the Menehune, as they were a people and a race all of their own that were gifted and talented craftsmen. On the other hand, you've got the Wee folk of the Fae in Ireland and Scotland, and even of some of the Germanic cultures that were just pure evil, or just spiteful, or tricksters that weren't there to help you at all. It's almost like a polar opposite. They they were not exactly the Hobbitses that we know in Tolkien.
Right.
They weren't going for afternoon tea and loving mashed potatoes. They were going after your babies and leaving people off behind in their place in the cribs in the middle of the night. So
now the ones we're talking about tonight are as far as like the the Irish Fae, that the sect that we're talking about is the Trow. And the Trow, also referred to as the Drow for those D&D players. I'm assuming that's where D&D got it from. But they are, they don't necessarily like us, but they tolerate us. And like you said, they play pranks on us, they trick us, they kind of screw with us a little bit. And but at the same time, they do have their own little culture thing, which is kind of cool. Like they like their spirits, they like their whiskey and a good rum and wine, and they are, I guess, found in like wine cellars and places like nobilities, places where they keep their alcohol, because the nobility, like the nobles, have the best wine. And so they were mostly found in the houses of the nobility in their wine cellars. So that, and they love music. Their fondness of like the violin and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. In fact, on Wikipedia, I know Wikipedia can not give
your mic cutting out, Sweetness.
Oh, is it any better? Can you hear me?
Yes, much better.
Okay.
Now what were you?
Sorry about that. I was saying that they have this this love for music too, and you hear stories about the Fae, having dances and stuff in the fairy circles and that sort of thing. But the Trow, I guess, have a fondness for the violin specifically. And even some of the music that we have today traces its origins back to the Trow. So, like, we have songs today that literally, like, somebody was walking through the wilderness or around the fairy mounds and heard this music, like on the wind kind of thing, remembered it, learned how to play it, and have passed that down to, future generations, to where now it's part of like our music. Like you can go on YouTube and listen to some of this music that like has almost like supernatural origins, which is really cool.
So basically, there's some music out there that you could play that could possibly attract some drunk fae to your house.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I
don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's a thing.
Well, it depends really on how you feel about dark fae, because
this is true.
Trow aren't exactly a part of the Seelie court. They're part of the Unseelie court, which is Unseelie stands for the unblessed or the unclean, and they're the dark court of the Fae. They would be Queen Mab or Morgana, and I don't believe there's really a big difference between the Golden Court or the Seelie court and the Dark Court or the Unseelie court. To be honest,
I don't either.
They're a little more gruesome. They're a little uglier, to be honest with you.
I feel like basically the two different courts, like the Seelie court, they're just pretty and they'll kill you, whereas the Unseelie court, they're not so pretty and they'll still kill you. So like, There's really no difference. They both want to kill you. It's just one looks better than the other, which I don't really call that a win either way. Like either way, you're screwed.
Either way you are. Exactly. Either way you are screwed. A good point was brought up by one of our listeners. The comparison of the Menehune and the brownies.
Yeah.
The brownies in Irish folklore and a part of the Fae court are basically like house gnomes. They come in and they attach themselves to a family in a home, and they pretty much hang around in the kitchen and the common areas, and they're nurturers. They would be part of the port, the golden port, and they repair things. They're craftsmen when it comes to like being a cobbler, like making shoes or cleaning up little messes or leaving nice little treats for you on your kitchen counter. You know, that's a brownie. A brownie is like that. Although I think brownies have gotten like the short end of the stick, to be honest with you, because everybody's like, brownies are hideous and ugly and they'll attack you. But it's really more like pixies. Pixies will do that. Pixies look real pretty from afar until they get right up into your face and try to eat your eyeballs.
Yeah. Now, see, brownies seem to be good-natured almost, and I mean, you can still, they're still short-tempered, so you can still piss them off, but for the most part, they don't seem to really have a problem with humans. Yeah. They're just kind of your fun-loving, house-cleaning, but it is said that you're not supposed to talk about them, and if you talk about their deeds, they'll stop doing what they're doing. So, which means if you have a nice, tidy house, and they're all like, hey, I love your house, I want to stay here forever, and then you talk about them, they're like, nope, I'm out, peace. So,
we gotta come.
When you piss a brownie off, they go boggart on you. That's when you have to worry.
Exactly.
Oh,
You don't want to deal with a bogart. It's not.
No.
It's not. Because I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, bogarts will reflect back one of your worst fears to you. So that's, if I'm remembering correctly, like they play off your fears. So that's
No.
I wouldn't want to piss off a brownie. I just want to.
No.
I want to be nice and keep them doing the nice, good things in my household.
Now, see, I thought I had a brownie one time. This was, I want to say, back in 2014-ish. One day, I was in my bedroom, and I heard a lot of banging going on downstairs. There was nobody home, and I knew the state of my kitchen when I went upstairs. So when I came downstairs and found a bunch of cabinets open, but everything put away, I was like, what? Because basically my kitchen had been cleaned and I had come downstairs in the middle of it and they noped out with the doors, like the cupboards still open, and they just kind of left everything the way it was.
That's the kind of haunting I want. That's the kind of thing that I want in my house. Like, please, I'm too tired. Do my dishes. I'll love you forever. Here's some milk-soaked bread, a little bit of honey to dip it in. Enjoy. Thank you so much. If you've got time, please match the socks. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah. When I walked downstairs and I saw my kitchen, I was like, I'm going to go ahead and go back upstairs now. Just finish what you're doing. Just go ahead and, Sorry to interrupt. Didn't mean to interrupt. Continue about your business.
Go back what you were doing. I didn't mean it. Please continue. That's the kind of thing that I would like. I'll deal with that. A poltergeist, not so much. But this, it's like the anti-poltergeist. I'm going to put all of the things back in its place. I'll take that instead. Please and thank you for $500. A brownie.
Now, I will say that I did not feel any kind of like creepy bad vibe when I came downstairs. So I literally just kind of backed up and was like, okay. And I just backed up, went back upstairs, and continued doing my thing. Now, unfortunately, they didn't come back to finish the kitchen, but I'm okay with that. They got it started, so I'm good. But I appreciate what they did, and I didn't mean to interrupt them. But I didn't get any kind of weird, bad, creepy vibe.
Right, but it's almost like a, excuse me, lazy. This needs to be done. I'm going
right?
to get it going for you, but I'm not going to finish. I'm going to need you to finish the rest of this.
You know your house is bad when the little folk call you out on it.
Right.
They're like, you need to clean. This is looking bad.
This is rough, honey. I see you're having a rough time. I'll start it for you, but I'm not going to finish it. You're an adult. You can do this yourself. Okay? Do it yourself. Worry about yourself. Worry about yourself. That's exactly how that would go. Now moving on from brownies to hobbits.
Right. So the trow, you've got your land trows, and then you've got your water trows. And apparently they do not like each other. Like, they are mortal enemies based on folklore and traditions. So, but the land trow, they reside under the hills. You know, they kind of like the hobbitses of Tolkien. But they create fairy mounds, which you can actually, I mean, there's some really famous fairy mounds all throughout Ireland and Scotland that you can go visit. But they lived in these kind of, I want to call them subterranean homes, but they're not, because they're more just earthen homes. Like, they're these built up mounds that they actually uncovered. Like in Scarborough, there was a Neolithic house, like subterranean house, on the Orkney Islands, and they did this archaeological dig. It wasn't a professional one, so unfortunately, it wasn't done properly. But that was done in 1913. But then in 1927, they actually got like the official archaeology team in there and did like, they did carbon dating, and this thing was dated back to 3180 BC. Now, this house, they took the fairy mound and completely removed the whole top of it, kind of like lifting up the bowl of, like on a plate, kind of removing the bowl and showing what's underneath. And I mean, there were bedrooms, there was a hearth for a fire, there was toilets, like actual toilets that had channels running away from the mound to get rid of the waste. Like, these were technologically advanced for the time. I mean, basically, I don't want to say plumbing, but yeah, it was kind of plumbing in 3000 BC, which is just kind of mind-blowing. But the main thing is that these were, like, the doorways to these were only about 3 feet tall. And the whole height of the whole place is only like 4 or 5 feet tall. So, like, these were made for little people. I mean, there's stone structures. What's that?
I said, and that's all you get. You don't get any more room than that.
Right? Like, they had a dwelling. These are homes. So it's really cool that there's like actual physical evidence that little people, if they're not around today, they were at one point. I mean, it's like hard evidence that a cryptid exists.
Absolutely.
So I find that really, really interesting.
It's absolutely interesting. I love how much, like, vague, because it is a little vague, but you've got this vague evidence of fey creatures kind of just sitting around. I feel like it's their middle finger to the world. Their last trick pulled on society, their last little deviant, mischievous self. I'm gonna leave a little bread trail for you, little crumbs all over the place, but I'm not gonna actually give you the full answer. That's total fey propaganda right there for you. That's fey. 100%.
I also feel like modern archaeologists are kind of hesitant and afraid to admit that like this is a thing, because if they do, then it turns their whole world topsy-turvy, and like they have to figure everything out all over again. Like they're like, we have our history planned, like we figured this out up to here, but now things aren't meshing up, so I don't want to touch it. I want the wool pulled over my eyes, kind of thing. Which
it's like,
to me is
it's like a fake Jack in the Box.
Right.
You know?
Like
it's like
it's stupid because the Fae, like if the Fae do exist, that means that like their magic exists. That means that, you know, the things that we have heard through myth and legend all now have merit, which means that like we have to completely redo our way of thinking in terms of like physics, in terms of ancient history, like everything. We have to rewrite all the books.
Merlin.
So Merlin,
saying, Merlin, my boy Merlin, and that freaking island. One day you're gonna hear that I'm finally gonna get to Ireland. That island's gonna pop up, and my ass is just gonna bloop. I'm gonna disappear. I'm gonna find him.
Now,
he's gonna be on the island. I'm telling you.
Now, which island are you talking about?
The one that we referenced a couple of podcasts ago. I believe it was under the paranormal umbrella. The one that just kind of floats out of the mist every now and then.
Oh, yes, High Brazil. Or High Brasil. Brasil?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you said there was a race of people that lived on that island that had... Huh?
Rabbit people.
Right, rabbit people. But see, I totally believe that they're just kind of like guards or whatever, like Fae guards or something. And it's Avalon, and Merlin's out there. He's out there living his best life.
You know,
on that island.
I would actually agree with you on that one, because the fact of the matter is all the legends and myths of High Brasil or Brazil or however you want to pronounce it, all the myths and legends about that island talk about a wizard that rules it. So Merlin.
It's my boy, I'm telling you. He's out there living his best life. He's chilling in his Bermuda shorts, drinking a Maui Wowie, chilling, enjoying his life. And I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. Like one of these days, I'm just gonna blip off the map because I found Merlin. That's how you're gonna know. Tara disappeared. That's where she's at, right there, doing her thing.
I read this really cool thing. I know we're getting off topic, but I read this really cool thing about. It was. Okay, this is involving UFOs, so we're totally off track. But apparently there was this like UFO, right? And it crashed. And it didn't stay crashed. It eventually, fixed itself and disappeared. But the people that saw it, I guess they like touched the ship and like they got coordinates. Like a bunch of different coordinates, like 10 or 15 different ones. And they were all of like influential places, like the Great Pyramids of Giza and, Stonehenge and places like that. Well, one of the coordinates was actually exactly where High Brasil is supposed to be located. Like the exact latitude and longitude of High Brasil.
See, now you're going to make my husband mad because now I'm going to be obsessed with finding this freaking island.
Oh yeah. I've done some digging on that one.
It's going to be my next vacation. I'm going to pack.
If you take a boat trip out there, you got to take me. I will go. I volunteer as tribute.
We will together. We will find Merlin and we will drink Maui Wowies together.
Yes.
Anyway, okay, so get back on topic here because we digress. Oh, what are we digressing? Hold on. Oh no! Oh, Lord!
Boy.
I'm down. Let's go. I'm ready. I'll be right there with you, babe.
Heck yes.
Yes!
I love his enthusiasm.
It's the support for me. All the love, babe. Thank you so much.
That's awesome.
He's fun with us. We're gonna go find Merlin together. I love it.
Well, you find him, you let me know, or I'll be there with you when you find him. Either way.
I absolutely will. I absolutely will. So back to the topic at hand. I was told, okay, so the research that I have done on the Drow, okay, the Drow are night elves. Their skin is literally the color of night.
Real quick, we got a comment.
Oh.
Okay, usually I don't try to agree on going on trips with y'all, mainly because Sooth be trying to get us chase. And I'm not for it. I will be like Roadrunner if we get chased. But for that, yeah, I'm going. Count me in. Count me in. I'll bring the snacks.
See, now everybody wants to.
Tina's on my side now.
Tina's on board for this one. See, now we're just gonna have to do it together. We're all gonna have to go. We're all finding Merlin together. This is gonna be great. It's gonna be fantastic.
Right?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Hunt for Merlin is going to be our next t-shirt. Hashtag Hunt for Merlin. It's going to be amazing. Oh,
got it.
What are we at?
You'll just have to drop me off in Scotland when we're done.
Done and done.
Group field trip. Let's go. Let's go. That's going to be awesome. Oh, I'm down. I'm making t-shirts and everything. Everybody's going to have to hold the line, though. You know how the kindergartners all have that one line that everybody's going to have to hold to make sure that nobody wanders off? We're going to have one of those. Because in this group, somebody's going to wander off. Probably will be me.
This is not the area to wander off in.
It would definitely happen, especially in this group. We would wander off in all sorts of directions. So we're going to have one of those kindergarten lines where everybody holds the rope together so that we don't wander off and get lost or trapped in a Fae portal. I mean, because if that's happening, we're all going together too. So that's a whole nother. Oh, I digress. Holy crap. Okay, so look here, y'all. Look here. I'm getting excited about something that could never happen. Anyway, so the Drow, from the research that I have done on the Drow, they have the skin color of night, and they literally live underground. But they're like the redheaded stepchild of the elves. Like they were banished from the elves and not recognized as an elven people, but they are elves. They're the night elves or the dark elves. So they're tall and have the features of elves and the same attributes as elves, like stealth and light-footedness and intelligence and stuff of that nature, but they operate more on the dark side of it. Like they can manipulate night and darkness and shadows, like the ninjas. They're like the ninjas of the elven race. So when we compare them to the Trow, I'm kind of getting lost in translation here.
Okay, so in terms of like the Trow versus the Drow and all of that, it's all language assimilation kind of in this regard. So the word Drow occurs in the Shetland Norn language, and it means the hidden people, fairies basically, troll folk or ghost. Now in the Norse language, in Old Norse, basically the same word used in Old Norse is Draugr, which Draugr are like the fallen warriors, kind of like I guess zombified fallen warriors. So it's interesting how like you've got like different word associations like throughout the different regions, but they all are very different beings. So like, I think it would probably be best to just straight up keep them all separate. The Trow are the Trow, the Drow are the Drow. The Draugrs are zombies, and never shall the three meet.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one because I feel like they're just completely like separate races altogether. Yeah. We got comments. What do we got here?
We're gonna have to chain you to that line because you're gonna run away.
The first of that line is a handcuff, so we'll use that.
You're gonna handcuff me to the rope. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, my understanding of dark elves in Norse mythology are closer related to dwarves. They look more like that to everyone else.
See,
right.
In Norse mythology, they are more like dwarves. So I'm just gonna have to accept that they're different races, and it's just a loss of translation in the names.
And another thing is also culture. I mean, think about it. Like back then, I mean, we're talking 500, 700,000 years ago. They may have had a completely different view, whereas our view of the taller dark elves almost comes more from like fantasy interpretation. It kind of reminds me of like what what Hollywood did to Wendy Boy, you know, because they took him and completely changed to how he was represented from from physical attribute aspect.
Right.
And I think kind of the same thing is going on here, where in modern times, modern being the last 100 years or so, we have kind of started creating our own myths and legends based on, fantasy novels, based on more modern accounts, things of that nature, which it seems like every account is different based on culture. So our own culture is having its own view of it.
So would you say that they have been romanticized, perhaps?
That is actually a very good way of putting it, yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah. Because
I can definitely see that.
Like shorter, dark trolls and stuff like that aren't necessarily as appealing to the big screen as the tall, elegant, dark elves,
Yeah, I can see that.
I wonder if that's kind of what's going on there in terms of the different, the different names for them.
Goes right back to that whole cryptid sexism thing, dude.
Well,
Lady Bigfoot, and the Banshee, they deserve better. They deserve better.
In the Skara Brae, that area that I was telling you about, where they had the megalithic structure of the little folk,
right?
Those actually were not considered Trow. Those were considered Clurichauns. Now, Clurichauns are not to be confused with the leprechauns, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. They are very different, even though they share a lot of similarities, not only in looks, professions, for that matter. I mean, they're cobblers, just like, leprechauns. So it's interesting. They share a lot of commonalities. In fact, they even have a lucky coin that is why they're found, or why they're hunted almost, to have this coin stolen from them. And supposedly the Clurichaun have a coin pouch that has a single coin in it. And that coin is their quote unquote lucky coin that they spend it. And then after they take their wares and they leave, that coin makes its way back into their pouch. So it's like this never ending coin that they can spend as often as they want.
Tricky.
Yeah, so it's not a pot of gold per se, but it's almost like the equivalent of unlimited money. So, and the Clurichauns are also found in like wine cellars and, places like that. But apparently they are like nasty folk that if you get in between them and their alcohol, oh, you don't want to, like, they'll kill your cattle, they'll kill your family. Like, they don't mess around.
Hide your wife, hide your cows.
Right? They'll wither your crops. Now, they're described as heavy drinking little fellows with withered or faces like withered apples, and their noses are said to be plump and purple from all the boozing they do.
Oh, they already got liver failure. That's terrible. They already got liver failure.
I know this is completely off topic. I accidentally left before I can go ahead and comment. I think it was Sacred Light that said something about Soof being chained to the line so that she doesn't get lost. We have to put bells on her and everything, because the second that we get there, she's going to want to be like, ooh, I want to see everything. She's going to be Dora the Explorer. She's going to go adventuring. Okay, she's going to have to put bells on her. We're going to have to put any kind of noise on her so we can hear it. Light flashing. Every time she moves a certain direction, the light's going to flash. We're going to have to do that. Also, I do have to go, but I love all y'all. And I'll talk to y'all later, if not in Discord, which they have already linked. Yay, I'm promoting. But that's it. I think that's it. Yeah, I have to go though. But love you, bye.
Love you, girl.
She brought up that they'll kill your cattle. I'm about to leave. I am. But I just wanted to hear a little bit more. As soon as she brought that up, I thought of Mushu from Mulan. If anybody's seen Mulan, the Disney movie, where Mushu was like, dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow. I'm sorry. This is the first thing that popped up. Okay, now I'm leaving. All right, bye.
Bye, girl, bye. Oh, my gosh. But it's true, though. You got to hide all of it because they coming for everything. Your livelihood. They coming for your food. You might as well just hang it up. Just leave some fire water out and let them be. Let them drink themselves to death.
Also, I'm making mental notes. I've got strobe lights. I've got handcuffs. I've got chain. I got bells. What else do we need? Are we missing anything? Did I get them all?
I've already got a reputation. Now
She's gonna be open raid.
Right? Y'all already nicknamed me freaking Pandora. Now I'm Pandora the Explorer.
There you go.
That's it. I have been dubbed. I'm just gonna rain down terror onto everything if I'm not chained to something to make sure that I don't start the next apocalypse. That's it. I'm putting on the shirt. That's it. I'm gonna wear that. It's my badge.
I am the walking apocalypse.
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
You.
That's me. There it is. Holy crap balls. Oh my goodness. Anyway, let's get, I am not a cryptid, okay? So can we get back on to
You're starting to get that cryptid status.
I really am. Holy crap, I'm gonna be a cryptid legend at this point. Don't provoke the Pandora the Explorer.
Now,
they'll bring it on our heads.
In another part of the world, in Indonesia, they've got their own little people, and they are called the Orang Pendek. Now, the Orang Pendek are more like a tiny Bigfoot. So,
okay, that's adorable.
Right? They basically have the same features as Bigfoot, except for the fact that they're only 3 feet tall.
So it's fun Bigfoot, is what you're telling me.
It's the little Bigfoot.
It's fun-sized Bigfoot.
Yes.
That a pocket Bigfoot. That's adorable. Tell me more.
Okay, so apparently in Indonesia, the people there live in harmony with the Orang Pendek, and they will leave offerings to them of tobacco, and which means that, I mean, these things, well, I don't know if they chew it, smoke it, whatever, what have you, like, they're taking it, so they do something with it. Now, they also have been known to raid crops for ginger, like potatoes, corn, and I guess their favorite fruit is the durian fruit.
Ooh.
Yeah, which apparently is supposed to be like really stinky and is banned in several countries because of its smell. But you know,
so they like sugar
the fruit,
and all
not
the
the
cuts.
not the pocket Bigfoot.
The pocket Bigfoot is okay, but the fruit is not. Gotcha.
The fruit is banned. So
fruit is banned, but pocket Bigfoot is allowed.
These little pocket Bigfoot, the Orang Pendeks, cohabitate the forests with the native people, which I think is really cool. They live in harmony with each other. And I guess in the 1990s, there was a group of people that tried to go and get photos of it. Like they had actually gone out, had contact like with these little Bigfoot, and I don't think they interacted, but they saw them, like they witnessed them, and they came back to get like pictures and actually get them categorized and all of that stuff. And I don't think anything ever came of it, but they're talking that the Orang Pendek might be the missing link. So now I don't know about that. Scientists are calling them I'm going to butcher this, the Homo floresiensis. I don't know how to say that any better. My bad for butchering that. Yeah. But I mean, they have these bones of the Orang Pendek, again, actual physical evidence, dating back as early as 12,000 years. Now, they have found tools and actually butchered rhinoceros dating back to 50,000 years ago. So these go way back. So these pocket Bigfoot are like, could potentially be the missing link or a branch in humanity.
You just laid out a guide on how I could become friends with fun-sized Bigfoot. I need stinky fruit.
Yep.
I need some chewing tobacco. Maybe a Snickers. Because they haven't known the pleasures of a Snickers bar, so maybe a Snickers. And, some Mexican street corn, because they haven't been blessed with that goodness. And just, go out to India and just sit and wait. Because I need to have a fun-sized Bigfoot in my life. Because we see the big Sasquatch that we have here in North America. We've already touched down on them a couple of podcasts earlier. But these guys, I don't know, I just feel like we could be friends. Like this is something that could possibly be
and they're not like they're not like necessarily afraid of us. They don't harbor any ill will towards us. They live in harmony with the people. So that's pretty cool. That I feel gives us the chance, that possibility that we may be able to connect with them one day, which would be really cool.
I'm sold. So now after we go find the floating island in Ireland and have some Maui Wowies with Merlin, we're going to India so that we can have, some Mexican street corn with fun-sized Bigfoot. I'm down. Like, I'm in this.
I am so not going to lie. These Orang Pendek are freaking adorable. Like, they look so friendly and cute. I want to hug them.
You want to pinch their cheeks, huh?
They're so cute. They're like little Bigfoots. Like, I can't explain it any other way. They're tiny little hairy people that have these Right. They did these like recreations based on the bones that they found, and they look really cool. They look like cute little people. I would totally hang out with these people.
Little furry people. That's it. I'm convinced. You don't have to convince me anymore. I'm already convinced. See, and now I just need to rope me a sky jelly and take me a sky jelly with me, and it'll purify the air and eat all the nasties on the way there. So, I mean, it'll be great. You don't have to convince me anymore. I'm going to India.
Cue the Aladdin music.
I have to go. I gotta go. You don't understand. I have to see this. It's just another thing that I have to see.
Sooth and the Orang Pendek are going to be riding on the sky jelly singing, I can show you the way.
Eating Mexican street corn and Snickers. Fun-sized Snickers. That is amazing. And yes, I absolutely want to do it. That is great. And it needs to happen
that would
immediately.
Make a cool t-shirt.
It absolutely would. And I want to do it immediately because that's incredible. Oh my gosh. Now I need to have a fun size freaking Bigfoot in my life. And they are adorable. If you guys haven't joined our Discord, you need to, so that you can see the pictures of these wonderful little creatures and all the other links that we have posted to the other cryptids that we have spoken of tonight, including the Hobbits and the Trows and the Drows and the Leprechauns and all the other wee people, including the Menehune or the Menehune, if you are speaking of the Tahitian version. They're all there on our Discord, and the link to the Discord is provided above our little icon heads up here. We also have an IG, which is provided in our stereo profiles here. And if you're interested, if you enjoyed yourselves tonight, you can also find us here every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. We do our Paranatural Cryptid Preservation Society, where we talk about any and all paranatural cryptids out there, from Bigfoot to Hobbits to Fae to Poltergeist. And then every other Friday, we do the Paranormal Umbrella, which is history mysteries, ghosties, satanic cults, rituals, all of the above. So if you enjoyed tonight, please subscribe, follow us, all of that. We've started a YouTube channel, but we don't have anything on there yet because we're still figuring that out because we are YouTube illiterate. And we have some really fun news coming shortly about some other opportunities that we have gotten our greasy little hands on. And we will provide that information on our Discord as well. So thank you so much for being here tonight. And we enjoyed all of your comments and interactions. It just makes this even more fun for us. And I hope you enjoyed the podcast for tonight on those dirty little hobbitses.
And also join us tomorrow night for the paranormal umbrella, where we're going to be talking more about the Inner Earth conspiracy. So we are going to be continuing and picking that back up from the last time we talked about it. And we're going to touch on some other aspects that we didn't get to touch on because this is a massive field of information that we don't have all the time to talk about it. So we're going to continue that on tomorrow.
Absolutely. We could absolutely cannot fit that all in one podcast. It could not happen. So we'll be picking that up again tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. So join us here on stereo so that you can listen to that and get your noodle baked. Because there's going to be a lot of that going on. I just know it. I can feel it in my bone marrow. She's going to be baking my noodle tomorrow, and it's going to be fun because you never know what craziness is going to pop up during these podcasts. So again, thank you so much, and hope to see you next time.
Take care, everyone.